too shallow, folks. I have to run it. It's like 2.5 feet of water. I have to run it very fast, just so it doesn't scrape the bottom. Yeah, that's a beautiful float right there. Let's see if it's easier with the float, so we don't have to run it 20 miles per hour just to keep it off the bottom. Man, I can barely see the float. I can't see very well anymore when there is not enough light. It's not about the distance, I require more light. Yeah, with the float is easier. I can drop it even in 3 feet of water. I can dangle. I don't have to run it like a... And if you stop for just a second... What do we get here? Oh, that's not even channel catfish. That's a blue catfish right here. That's how people in Tennessee say right here. They say right here after everything. That's a good lure right here. That's a good boat right here. That's a good rod right here. We say right here to talk something up. That's a blue catfish right here. All right, he let go. That was amazing. He let go as soon as he got in the net, so we don't have to touch him with the gloves. It's just one little catfish and a ton of slime. By the way, look again. This is the gold pumpkin color. Look at the color of the water. I don't know how these fish see this. Well, it is shoved full of gold flakes, but they see it somehow. I told you, in shallow water, I used to think you need a high-vis color when the water is dirty. But I just much prefer natural colors now. I prefer gold pumpkin, Alabama gold. If you don't know, Victor, what the hell is Alabama gold? Alabama gold is like imagine earthworm, kind of a reddish brownish color earthworm with gold flakes again. I put gold flakes in everything. I just love gold flakes in lures. I love gold even without lures. I think it's much safer for your 401k than these AI stocks, which you don't think you are buying, but you are, because your money is in an index, and the index is passive buying everything. Actually, the bigger the bubble in some company, the more the index has to buy it. That's how these passive buying indices work. A lot of American retirees that put their money in 401ks all their life will wake up one day, find out that their money is in jail. All of their money. I know you saved $700,000 and you think you're doing well, but all of your money is in jail. Stocks is going down, bonds are going down at the same time, and you can't keep it in cash because inflation is more than the interest rate in the money markets. And you can't pull them out of the 401k either at once to put them somewhere else where you can manage them, because then you have to pay a whole bunch of income tax at once. So you just find out that your money is in jail. All right, this extremely weird tangent. I'm not financial advisor. I have no financial advisor education at all. This is just a ranting. Disclaimer. Usually I take the thumbnail at the end of the video. This time we're gonna take the background in the morning. Alright, let's keep fishing. So far only one catfish and 0 panfish. I see a few little dots. I'm sure crappie is all the way in the middle of the lake again. I don't like to fish the middle of the lake. Yeah, we'll see what the little dots are right here. That was a golden shiner. That was a golden shiner, and that kind of makes sense. Because I'm seeing a few fish that are able to nip. They're able to nip the dangly tail and not get caught. And it's very difficult even for a small bluegill to nip at the biggie ones and not get caught. By the way, golden shiner jigs are coming. They were supposed to be here this year. The factory screwed up the molds. The molds have to be redone. It will take months, so they're just gonna come next season. But there is a jig coming next year, smaller than the biggie one. Not really smaller, but it will be better suited for a golden shiner. Oh, there's one. Interesting. Hooked at the foot pedal. Hooked up, no float. I wasn't twitching. He hit a stationary dangle. Small crappie, but hey. First panfish of the day. Today we're gonna celebrate everything we can get. I don't even fish this lake in the summer. There's no oxygen in the summer. The water looks extremely stale and it's just claustrophobic. I feel like I'm fishing a dying lake. But we just got a bunch of rain. You can see the water is very stained. The lake is still low, but we got a bunch of rain, so there is oxygen. At least today there is plenty of oxygen in the water, so I don't have to worry about oxygen depletion. And there was a slow bite, but I didn't pull the trigger. That was a very slow bite. Okay, now it tilted. And crappies bite very slow. Probably crappie is the fish for which the eye fish floats will give you the biggest advantage because of how little they move the float when they grab. They will touch the jig head and they will move like 1 or 2 inches, and only the antenna, if you even have an antenna and a sensitive float, the float kind of sits tilted, and you can already pull the trigger just because the float sits tilted. Look at this beautiful 1 gram float. Look, it is critically balanced, so the float sits in the water up to here. Okay, only the black is above water. It's critically balanced. It takes like 0.25 grams. That's the extra capacity to submerge it. The crappie can grab it and nip it and swim away and not gonna feel nothing. That's why they grab it in their mouth, the antenna is tilted, and they still don't spit it. They're wondering what's going on, but they don't spit it right away. Yeah, that was a bluegill bite. Tsop tsop. Definitely bluegill bite. Very fast bite and very fast recovery of the float. Oh, man. How I get disproved every time I say something, but you can't prove me wrong. I still think that the bite I missed was a bluegill bite, and after that I caught the crappie. Because the crappie, when I finally pulled the trigger, the float took away like a little train, choo-choo. It was easy to make the decision to set the hook. The bluegill just probably tsip, tsip. The float recovers before I have time to pull the trigger. Man, bluegill bites, you will mess up. Huh. He took Off with it. Man, again, crappie. Where is all of the bluegill? So strange. 4 crappie and not a single bluegill. Extremely strange. You know, in the spring, I don't know where the crappie spawn. I do not know where they spawn. Victor, they spawn in the shallows. Read the book, Victor. I don't know. I fished all the shallows in this lake. When they spawn, I cannot catch a single crappie. Maybe they're tucked in deep under these trees over there where I cannot cast. But why don't I see them on live scope? Maybe they're all the way on the bank, something like this. But I'm telling you, on this lake, the crappie spawn, and it's a small lake. They spawn somewhere where I cannot see them and cannot reach them. Got you, little bugger. What is this? Another crappie. Where is the bluegill in this lake? What happened with the bluegill? This is incredible, folks. I found a pattern today. Today I feel like a YouTuber. Look at this pattern I found. You put a dangle on a biggie one and you turn the live scope on, and all of a sudden you are an angler. And then you turn the GoPro on, all of a sudden you are a YouTuber. Let me cast all the way and just not wait for the float to get up. See? This was a twitch fish. It's only 3 feet deep there. Hey, first bluegill of the day. It's a beautiful male. I know he ain't huge, but he's developed. He's healthy, developed. That's a beautiful bluegill, folks. That's a beautiful bluegill. He's small. He ain't like the slabs I showed you in the spring. I showed you some real slabs in the spring, didn't I? One more over there. Come on, man. I know you want it. Yes. He won it. I love shallow fishing, folks. I can catch more fish now if I go in the middle of the lake with the 1.5 number 10 and a dangle and just live scope the fish that are 16 feet deep. We'll catch more fish. But it's ugly, boring, and you're just sniping them with live scope. I don't know. I don't enjoy it. And I'm not here for the meat. So why be there? I like this background. Look at this. Look at this. Find me a better background. Where do you live? In California? Find me a better background than this. Man, I'm good. I'm telling you. What did he spit out? Something, I don't know what he ate. Something gross. It's half dissolved. Man, when they touch the water, they swim before they can sink. Like faster than gravity. They touch it. Wow, right in front of the boat. Wow, little crapperooski right in front of the boat. The bite was so funny, folks. I gotta tell you, if you float fish with plastics, which means you are an active float fisherman, not put the worm or the minnow, cast it as far as you can and put it in the rod holder and just listen to your radio and read your phone. Now, if you fish like this, it doesn't matter if you use fill or iFish float, but if you twitch the plastic and you don't cast very far so your eyes can follow the antenna closely, I'm telling you, there is no comparison between my floats and the Thill floats or any other float in United States. One other thing, I don't know if I've told you, but the bottom piece of the tubing on these fixed floats has to be all the way down, as far down as you have stem. That's actually very important. It's important for sensitivity. This will allow you to detect like 5-degree tilt on the float. The bottom piece of the tubing has to be as far down as you can. Fish. Got you. This bugger. I've been working 10 minutes on this little thing here. $5 that it's a golden shiner. Huh? You didn't take the money. It was a small bluegill after all. Now these fish that were messing with me, I know they're golden shiners. First of all, I saw golden shiners surface when the bass was chasing them. It was not this, I can tell a golden shiner from a bluegill pretty easy. Not a biologist, but I can tell a bluegill from a golden shiner. Let me try to catch one more from this spot, even though I spent such an amount of time on this small bluegill. Wow, right here. He's still here. And that's not the fish that was messing with me though. I know that's a decent bluegill, but that's not the one that was messing with me. Oh boy, that's a female. That's a female, man. Huh. Should I take this female home to give Sancho a company? You know what? I'll take it home, because the dude is male. He's been digging these holes all over my aquarium. I will give him a female to see if they're gonna be buddies, or he's gonna try to kill her as well. But she's bigger than him. No, I don't know if she's bigger than him. They're about the same size. Let me put her in the live well, folks. I want to see how he will react with a big bluegill. Man, aquariums are fun, let me tell you. Aquariums are fun, folks. Oh, I disconnected the battery. Let me just put a few buckets of water, because I'm going home anyway. I'm not gonna stay here all day, because we have something to do today. Yeah, I need 2 more buckets and I'm good. Yeah, I don't need a lot of water. I don't need to chase it when I get home anyway. Oh yeah, that's enough. Plenty of oxygen too when I put it in like this. Alright folks, that's enough for one video. If I keep fishing, I'll just have to add 1 or 2 hours of video editing without you guys seeing or hearing anything new. But it was a beautiful morning of fishing, folks. I fished the whole bank from the other side of that point over there to here, and I showed you every single fish that I caught. It was not a fast bite at all. I never caught, I think, 3 fish from the same brush or spot, not even here. But the scenery was so beautiful that I enjoyed every minute of fishing this bank. So I'm gonna let you go, folks. One more time, if you are an active float fisherman, if you are casting plastics, dangly tails, trout magnets, stuff like that, and you're twitching the float and watching, you gotta try these floats, folks. It's not like they're better, a little bit better than the Thiel and a little bit worse than those ones. They're just completely different. There is no other twitching float in United States. Take a leap of faith, spend $2 on a float, Go one evening in some pond and just cast it in front of some weeds and just twitch the float and watch this antenna, and you'll see what I mean. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video all the way to the end, and I will see you soon. Bye bye, folks.